All right. How is everyone doing? GM, good morning. Although it's afternoon here in Israel, but to anyone listening, and does anyone care? We go over the markets. Today's a very important day in the news. It's World Liberation Day. Um, that's what it's being called. I am hesitant to agree with that because there were some tweets saying that this would actually be World Liquidation Day. So we are expecting a lot of volatility today in the markets. Let's take a look, shall we? I will update you on what I think the market's looking like and what my trades look like. So let me see. You know what? Instead of sharing this, the tab, what I'll do is I'll just share my whole screen so that we can switch between tabs, and then you guys can get a better experience. Let me see. Yeah, what I want to share is my full screen, the second one over here. Let's see. All right. Okay, guys. So before we even get into Bitcoin, what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the SPX and the NASDAQ, right? So what we're going to do is, wait, my screen's not sharing. Just a minute. There's an issue here. Dun, dun, dun. Let me fix this, guys. Anyone who's tuning in, drop a like, a comment, you know, let me know that I'm not alive in this online world called the internet. We should be streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. So anywhere you catch me, just drop a comment, a like, and make me feel heard. Do you guys see my screen? No, not yet. Okay, I'll try again once more. Maybe I cannot share my entire screen. So let's see if we can share a window at least. Okay, this looks better. Okay, this will do. All right, and so you guys can see what's going on in Bitcoin, but first I wanted to take a look here at the Nasdaq, right? Because this is a global event and we are trading in lockstep with this Nasdaq. Now, let's take a look at the price action on the weekly, right? And let's take a look at the status of the market, right? So we are now adopting the um, price action strategy, which means instead of drawing trend lines, what we're looking at is higher highs and higher lows, right? So you can see this trend line that was marking pretty much or more or less the higher high and higher low. Now this candle right here indicates a bearish breakdown. And what we're seeing now is some sort of continuation to the downside. Now, where would we expect to see support? Well, of course, we have it marked two times in here around the 17,000, and that would be a significant drop if we get there. But the question is, what are we going to do in the next few coming days? Now, I do believe that this is going to be a very volatile day, and I would assume that whatever's shaping up on the short term, we're probably going to see a spike in either direction, and maybe in both. You know, that Darth Maul candles that liquidate both sides. In any case, if we wanted to trade this, right, we first need to understand what is our bias. And then to understand the bias, we first need to look at the current trend. Now, on the daily, what we're seeing here is higher. Let me draw this for you guys so that we can make this super clear before we try to decide on any kind of order block. So there's a high, and here's the low. Now there's a lower high, and what we're forming here, even if it's here, that's a lower low. But but it looks like a bit, like curving down. So I'm not sure if that's the low, or we're going off to find a new low over here and continue kind of this inclination. But in any case, the bottom line and what is important for us to know is that this is downtrend, right? And it's coming off of a huge, huge, huge uptrend that we were seeing prior to this with higher highs and higher lows, right? So this right here is what we call a breaker or a market structure break. And what we do if we're using the order block technique is we would look for the last up candle that generated that downward move. So even if we would be bullish and there's a strong case to be a bull, if you say, okay, we at least, even if we're going to recession, at least we're going to go touch up in here before like all hell breaks loose, and that would be a bearish order block. Now, what I like to do is I have this indicator called MSB, which is market structure break, and it helps you deline the order blocks. So as you can see, the order block was here, but it is assigning, yeah. So this was pretty similar. You see this order block right here? This is mine, and this is the indicator. So more or less, I got it more or less right. But if we want to be a bit more precise, we get to do it the whole thing like this. So this would be a bearish order block, and there's another bearish order block down here. Why? Because we were doing right here, and this already broke the bigger market structure. Right. So you can see that though that it is touching upon a bullish order block here. How does this get formed? Well, through this market break. So we have a lower high, then a higher low, and then this candle broke the structure. Now, the last down candle that broke the structure is this little honey over here. And you can see the reaction right after we touched upon this. So that is the bull case, right? Now, it does not have to respect it. Like this can still create a lower low here and dump back down and retest it. So what we would say is that the longer trend is still bullish, but right now this daily is forming a lower high and a lower low, so we are leaning bearish. And that is the simplistic analysis on the global macro trend. Now, what does it look like for Bitcoin, right? Which is what we want to see. Let me see if I got my lines drawn here. No. Yeah, this is the one. All right, so let's start clean. Let's take everything out and just do a naked analysis first. So a daily, right? So on the daily, we are obviously on a downtrend ever since January, right? You can see lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. This is a lower high. And the only way that we could break this trend is by putting a high over the 88,000 and then protecting it, right? Like keeping on top of that. Until then, the daily time frame, the higher time frame remains bearish. Now let's see where we could get to, right? So what I've marked here is previous um, previous all-time high around this area, which is around the 69 was the previous market high, but we could also mark this little guy here for this bullish order block, which I would say this would be like utter capitulation, right? If we dump down here, also going to be in free fall. We're going to see the whole market panic. A lot of bulls lose the conviction, and this will probably be the ideal entry for the rest of the year. around that area. Will we get there? I don't know. Maybe maybe it's just too simple. So unless we break here, we cannot really confidentially, objectively get bullish, right? And so what I did yesterday on the Bitcoin chart is I placed a short, but as a rookie trader, once I was a little in profit, advanced my stop loss, and I got stopped out, and that would have played out nicely, but it would still not have touched my take profit point. So we would still be where we are now, which I replaced my short at like a slight profit. But let's see, I will update you now with all my trades. So now what we see in the shorter time frame is that we've been in this range for quite some time now, and we're not being able to break out of this. But if we zoom in, right? If we zoom in, I do want to show you, and this is already the time frame. The hourly time frame is when we are starting to look for those entries, right? We are seeing that this order block here, right? If we want to draw this order block here, look at this reaction over here, right? It came down and it just touched and boom, flew away. Now, in the hourly time frame, we are seeing an uptrend. And that is what's confusing when the market's consolidating, right? Because we have a clear daily downtrend, but also we have now an hourly short-term uptrend. Now, the the high time frame is always more powerful than the short time frame, but still, you cannot deny that until this keeps making higher highs and this keeps making higher lows, on the shorter time frame, this is a valid uptrend, right? And now the question is, will it continue and get enough power to break out of this 86 level and then hold it? Or are we going to see just a dump back down to at least retest the previous low, which is not this one, but it's way down over here. And in the short term, you can imagine how that dump would look, especially for the alts around here, this 77. And now I would expect to bounce around 77, and maybe that's a low if it protects it here. But if the market gets really bearish and panic sets in, we can definitely just slide through onto the 72 and even wick below to this weekly bullish order block, and that would be a severe market capitulation, right? That would be a huge market capitulation. So due to the time frame, I would be looking for shorts on the higher time frame. Now, however, this is kind of holding up, as you can see, and as long as that remains, what we're seeing is that we are already struggling to cross this type of resistance over here at the 85 500 and change. So I would say that we probably have a bearish order block here on the very short time frame. You see, we broke market structure here. This was a breaker, and then the last bullish candle onto that move is our bearish order block. You see it's respecting it, and once it touches, it's going down, but it did spike a bit above it. So that because that's a very short time frame, guys, we're looking at the 15-minute chart. This is not that of a strong order block, right? Still, this gives us a slight kind of hint that we'd rather go short on this time frame, at least until we see what's going on this order block. Now this is mine. This is the indicators. Why? Because it's taking what is it doing? Let's see on the hourly. Why is this the order block? Right? Because this is a market structure break here. and it's just doing this. Anyway, I was looking for this order block, and if you can see, it didn't quite touch this order block, which was the previous. It flew down here. So let's see what's going on. Currently, I'm in a short position in Bitcoin, and that is my bias on the very short term. What does that translate to? So first of all, let me update you guys on the Edwin call that I made on Twitter. You can see my call not long ago. I encountered this project at the Building Blocks event. They pitched open source DeFi connector for AI agent. Very interesting stuff. But what I didn't know, and I didn't ask him, dummy, is whether they have a like a live token. So when I understood that they do, I saw it around 5 million market cap and change. And so let me see. I was updating everyone here on the Edwin trade, right? So my first call here, I'll do an update today, is was around here, 6 million market cap, and I saw this breakout, and I send you guys a link. So if you've been following me, you'll already be in this token around 6.4. Where is it now? So we're still looking good, right? We're still quite above on the short time frame of where Michael is. Now we've encountered our first kind of real rejection around here, the $8 and $5 billion market cap. Now that is still a pretty decent 20-30% move, but we want to see if this can break through this and do a new expansion phase. Now guys, remember that because this is such a small market cap, and once my following grows, I will probably not be bringing this microcap calls onto my Twitter. But until that comes, if you're following me, well, this might be an interesting thing to look at. So this thing is around 70.5 million market cap. If the markets remains ranging, I do believe that we can still continue expanding, right? It's still a very pronounced uptrend here, even though we found a first rejection here at around 8,500. So I am still bullish here. I'm still holding my Edwin. I saw that dipping down, and I kind of doubled down on it. But this is a trade, guys. Okay, this is early. This is still early to be looking at microcaps and AI coins and means. So at this stage, this is a trade midterm, not a fundamental. We're going to the moon type of investment. Okay, having said that, let's look now at our breakout prop terminal, right? So we are seeing that we're struggling for the second time here. We've already established our bias. And now what we want to do on this account is what we're going to do is we're going to look for shorts based on the premise that we haven't been able to break this up, and we would at least expect this thing. Well, this is actually still on a bullish, right? This is still short-term bullish, but on the premise that the longer time frame might get into position, we might expect here a drop, at least to retest this. Even if we retest that 83,500, we're still technically in a short-term uptrend. So now the magic here of breakout prop that I haven't found with other prop firms is that they have all the altcoins, and whenever we can take a look at dominance. We can see where dominance is going. I'm not expecting dominance to change drastically. Even like we're still in this uptrend channel, and the trend is very clear, guys. There's no room for confusion here. We're still in this uptrend channel for Bitcoin dominance. That means it's still a Bitcoin show. And we won't be, this is a new high over here at the 72.2, and we probably come here to retest this spike over the 74 for a potential final, finally the desired altcoin that we've been wishing for since this rejection over here in the November December AI agent rally. So hopefully that comes soon, but until then we have to respect the trend. What does that mean? Well, this is a cool thing with trading altcoins, guys. Whenever you know that Bitcoin's in charge, which is now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus. If we're looking for shorts, and that's our bias right now, what we're gonna do is we're going to focus on the weaker coins than Bitcoin. So, for example, you can order these coins as gaining per their change percentage. You see that Bitcoin's almost on top, meaning most altcoins are underperforming. And then you can go to the real, like the underperformers, right? Like we see AIXPT getting smacked, truly smacked. Like this is, I think this is a new low. Yeah, this is a new all-time low for AXPT. Ah, sad situation, man. That was one of the premier AI agents in the space. Although the leader is not that, the leader, market leader, as I understand it, is A16Z. You see how it's a much better posturing here, and still cannot yet reclaim that 20 cent type of resistance. So not sold on this yet, but if we would be bullish, we would be more bullish on AX60Z than on AXPT. Now, let's go back to our analysis. What we're looking for, guys, is for a, if we're wanting to short, we're looking for a weaker coin than Bitcoin that is probably retesting a high. For example, Grifane, right? I really like Grifane. I think when it pumps a lot, but it can also dump a lot. And these guys over here have been just shattered, battered, destroyed, and it's making new lows every time. Now, what we see here is that this guy made a new low, and then it spiked back up, and now it's trying to reclaim it. So now the big question becomes whether this, let me paint it white. I don't know why the default here is purple, but the big question becomes whether this little guy, which is support at 30 at 3.5 cents, is gonna hold, or or this is gonna just break through again, right? Because what we're doing right, we're attempting right now is a reclaim of that support level, right? So this is a very critical spot for Grifane over here. We already made a new low, but this is typically parts where big buyers step up. Uh, what our theory is going to be for this one, guys, is that like the thesis coming into that is that we're now forming, as you can see, we are in an uptrend, and this was a market breaker. So what we're consider this is that we are now forming a new downtrend. So this is a high, lower high, and this would be a new lower high, and we would potentially target a new lower low over here. So will we be shorting this? Okay, now let's go back to Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin managing on the short term to break through this resistance? Is it defending this new thing? Well, more or less. More or less it's trying to. But if we go into very short term, do we have a bearish order block around here? Maybe, let's see. Yeah, so our bearish order block was around here. Let's see if we have a shorter one. Yeah. So you can see this one. We're retesting the bearish order block, but until as long as we remain below it, our bias right now, unless Bitcoin shatters this 85,000, is to the downside. So what we'll be doing here is we will be putting in a short trade with a stop above this recent high, right? Assuming that like the safer place would be above this high, but we will still try to see if it can we can do a short tighter stop loss. So now let's see. Place a short now. This is going to be our market size. So it doesn't allow you to do any amount, but what we want to do is always, and especially with prop trading, guys, you want to know that you're never risking more than 1 or 2% of the portfolio at a given trade. This is a $10,000 portfolio, which means we're not risking more than 100 up to 100, 200 bucks. 3, 7 to 1 would be my stop loss. And we see that this is 138 risk. So let's try to decrease that risk by adjusting our order a bit and making that a limit order into here, the 69 area. Let's see if we can get that. That'd be sweet. And let's see if we can decrease our stop loss and 135. Okay, so I'm comfortable with this. Let's see how the order looks. This is a sell order that will enter here with a stop loss just above this recent high. I want to make sure that it also goes above this little high over here. So this by a few weeks. Let's see if we can do this. And we can get filled. These are these are very small orders, guys, the grand scheme of things. So you the good thing with this new path is that you don't need to take care of potential slippage and orders getting filled and wraps of liquidity. So that allows you to be much more precise on your trading at this stage. Let's see if that comes through. Another one that I've been very bearish all the way since here is Pi. Like this thing's going to zero, man. There's no way around it. And effectively is like this, if you're the shorter of this retest, like it's just pretty much free money. Like that hasn't even tried to reclaim a level. It was just pure destruction, guys, pure destruction. And a lot of altcoins are gonna look like this. This is a big wipeout here. So we can find a lot of coins. What I don't like to do is I don't want to just short whatever position I'm here because this is already making new low. And whenever you got a new low forming and you're not in it from like here, you see this kind of that would be beautiful if I would have just held and not get spiked out, not get stopped out with this kind of retest. I would have been in huge profit now. Okay, our Grayfane order came through. Let's expand it a bit here so you guys can see my whole position. We're starting to be in a small P&L. But so I'm not entering here because in my experience, you sometimes enter with a new low forming and it does like this, right? It tries to reclaim it, does a huge spike. So that's not something that I'm comfortable shorting at this stage. Now, let's see something else that we could potentially short. So my way to go at it is if it is acting stronger than Bitcoin, like you can see Farcoin, Hype, Hyper, and Tron, they're acting stronger than Bitcoin. So I won't be going on and shorting this. You can see that they're trying to break their uptrend. If our bias is short over here, what we want to do is we want to look for weaker coins than Bitcoin. Now Trump is a good example, right? Now this is a good R and R ratio. Why? Because if we are bearish and we can see that Trump has not been able to reclaim this, like this is a easy short. Why? Because this is our stop loss. We're very near that area. So what you can do here is we can place our short comfortably because their stop loss is so near that on a probability, and you're always betting or for the odds guys, right? You're never certain. If you're going into trades and saying this is what's gonna happen, you're already on a loss, guys. We don't assume that something's gonna happen. We just see what the market's doing and we take an educated guess. That is what trading is. Nothing more, nothing less. We're gonna see if we can drive this down to the 9.5 area. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing. The price is almost there. Let's see if we can get filled around here for a sell order. And the stop loss needs to be around here. Yeah, okay. It's trying to break out. Let's see. 6.8 limit, stop loss price. Ah, right. I'm missing here a zero. That's why I cannot place my order. Okay, let's now go down because probably will not get filled until we go like this. Okay, so now we have another short in Trump. We just got filled. If this breaks this level, then we're going to lose. And this is a good thing about this. We're going to lose 95. So this is 1% of the portfolio. We're still on the safe side for this trade. Although it's looking it's looking that it wants to go against us. Let's see, guys. Anything can happen, right? But we have to respect our bias for the day. And until this 85 500 breaks in Bitcoin, our bias is bearish, and we're gonna respect that. So we're not looking for longs right now. The thing that you don't want to do, and I've tried it, is to like go short on one coin, long on one coin. So sometimes that hedging technique works. But on a volatile market, what usually tends to happen is that you can get stopped on both sides, and that does not amount for a good trade. Now, let's see if we can find another good opportunity. Now, I'd rather not short like the stronger fundamental coins because if we're already trading altcoins and we have a bearish bias, we can find so many tokens that are just, you know, not looking good. Like Pengu and all these meme coins. I don't see people rushing into meme coins anytime soon. Like the market has to first get a bullish posturing if we are to ever see some more bullishness. Like look at Pengu here. It's getting destroyed. Now because it's already at a new low, I'll be a bit hesitant. I would love to short route here at this break of structure and this retest. That would be a beautiful short. Down here, we might get a harsh reaction. Let's see if we got another opportunity. Well, how's Doge looking? Doge looking like it wants to protect that resistance. I will not be shorting that. Griffin is already in a slight profit. Let's see if that continues. And let's take a look at, let's see what else is in a key resistance area that we can short. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, guys, instead of just browsing around, I'm going to double down on this short position for Griffin. I see that it's kind of working, is respecting kind of that limit, as you can see here. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, we are taking an educated guess towards the downside on here. We're going to adjust our stop loss so we make sure that we're not risking. You never want to risk your whole portfolio, guys. And you have a daily drawdown on prop firms, so make sure you always taking care of that. What we want to get to is to a point where we are funded on the certificate and we can actually start pulling out money from the market with this funded accounts. That is our goal at this point. Once we get funded, then we can start having a bit more fun here. 3, 7, 15 is where I'm placing my stop loss. See that is a bit heftier, and we want to see if we can get a nice 4 to 1 R. Yeah, this would make this trade around a 3 to 1 R. So those are odds that we like. Remember, never take, always take at least a 2 to 1 R, which means risk to reward ratio. You have to be willing to lose an amount and always looking for profit on a higher ratio, at least twice what you're betting. So let's send this order, see if we get filled. It's running a bit away. And what we're betting on for this specific trend, guys, is that this type of reclaim is not going to succeed. Okay, so that's why we're betting on the short side of this thing. Let's take a quick look on Trump, see how bullish or bearish the Trump coin is. On the long term, guys, fundamentally, with a coin that's being held by 80% of the team, I mean, I don't care how much we all love Trump, this shit's gonna train to zero. Like, I don't see like making a bunch of new all-time highs. But anyway, guys, this is gonna do it for the stream. We're in a bunch of shorts here. We're leaning bearish coming into this liberation day. There's a high probability that we get shaken out on both directions. So with the announcement, there's probably a chance. What I would say is that there's a very high probability that what we do is something like this, okay? And this is going to be a wild guess, so bear with me. I'm going to take down these oscillators so that I can show you my trades. Where am I? Where am I? My drawings. Okay, they're not here. They're in this one. All right. So what I'd say, guys, is that what we might see, right, coming into this liberation announcement, I think we may see one of two scenarios. Either the market keeps kind of scaring off people, and then the announcement comes around here, and we say, "Oh, it's not such a big deal," and then boom, we rally, which is the least kind of scenario. I would say, I would be, if I had to guess, I would say coming into the announcement, the markets probably say we can brush it off and make a fake out here, maybe until this 87 thing, and then like something starts breaking, right? Not forcefully like this, but what that would look like is uh something like this. Okay, so tariffs are not that bad. Okay, probably they are. Then we came back into the range. We try to hold the support, don't succeed. Try to hold this support again, the 77. Try to come up here for a retest, and then that's a major capitulation low. This is our generational buy, where you need to sell your kidney, sell your wife, and sell your home to get a hold of Bitcoin at 69K or below. That's my major analysis, guys. I hope you appreciate that. And if you do, send me a like. This is almost 40 minutes in. So I'll try to do this as often as I can, guys, to not only update you, but also frame my mind. Because when I'm speaking this out, it helps me understand my own bias and not just be pushing buttons randomly and getting wrecked. So, guys, much love. See you on the next one. Regarding all the rest of the stuff, check us out at Cora Finance. We're almost launching a new version of the mobile app. I'll be spreading the word around that. And of course, Cage.fund. We are looking for seed investors. We have our POC live on Telegram. You can go bet on the A agent that you think is going to win the trading battle. This is going to be a huge platform, guys, where you can create your agents, train them, see how they trade, copy trade them, and we have a ton of features in store for you guys. We need the funding to make this happen. So if you do have investor connections or you consider investing yourself, reach out to me, DM me, and that'll be it for today. All right, guys, take care. Much love. Happy Liberation Day, whatever that means, and see you soon.